resort concept. Over time, the north side of Lake Shore Blvd attracted a lot of industry to the area, just as New Toronto had. It was proximity to the rail line, which is what made it such a great location. There were a number of factories along the north side. There's still, I think, one left, the Castrol facility. I'm not sure that they still produce anything or it's a warehouse. But starting in the late 70s, early 80s, there was a lot of pressure to redevelop the north side of Lake Shore Blvd. Sort of at the same time that there was a massive proposal for redeveloping the Goodyear site, there was an equally massive development proposal for the Long Branch area on the north side of Lake Shore. I know the city of Etobicoke had a lot of concerns with that. There was a secondary plan done for the area back in the 80s, which was to allow for some residential but try to preserve the industrial lands. The industrial lands also started changing character. Marinos came in, took over an old factory, turned it into a car dealership, which kind of starts to undermine the ability to call it really employment industrial lands when you have retail, basically retail uses come in. Back in the early 1990s, then Metro Toronto did one of the first studies within what we now call the City of Toronto around Main Streets housing. And I was actually involved with that as part of the Lakeshore Planning Council, and we did a Main Streets report focused along all of Lakeshore Blvd, but there was a particular focus in Long Branch. That report went on to be presented at a UN Habitat conference, and it won an award for the thoroughness of the research and the review and the analysis. And the vision that that report spoke to was about mid-rise development along Lakeshore Blvd and Long Branch. And so thankfully that's to date what we've been seeing. You know, buildings like the one across the street, 4 stories, a little bit down the street, 6 stories, and across the street townhouses. Now it does change the character of the area, but it also brings in new people into the community and new life for a lot of our local institutions like schools and churches, and certainly the retail area, which is benefiting. It's somewhat inevitable that cities change and evolve, and for the most part it seems like these particular changes in Long Branch are fairly positive and good for the neighborhood, although some might disagree. I just wanted to tell you, at the time that we did that Main Streets study, one of the young planners at the time with Metro Toronto, Wayne Reeves, he also took it upon himself to do a lot of research about Long Branch. He found the community fascinating. And so in 1992, he authored a report on the regional heritage features of Metro Toronto waterfront, and in there there's an interesting section about Long Branch and talking about Long Branch Park and the cottages, and how the cottages slowly began to evolve into winterized homes and gave rise to the community we now have as Long Branch. So that's an interesting report and study that you can look at. So that's it for our tour today. I want to thank Jaan Pill, and we should all thank Jaan for all of the research and all of the work he has done in preparing for today's walk, but that he's doing about Long Branch and about our community, and preserving a lot of those stories digitally so we can all access them and share them. And it's important about, if we want to protect the heritage of our area, we actually have to understand the history of what it is that we want to preserve. So thank you, Jaan. I've just been the tour guide and the narrator today, so thank you for your patience with me, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the day, and hope now that the weather is good that you keep coming back to Long Branch and enjoying it. Support the local businesses, but just, you know, enjoy the neighborhood, and raise your voice when there's a need to talk about protecting it. So I'm not trying to make this political, but we have province has done a lot of changes to planning in the last few years. Minor variance applications in the City of Toronto now do not go to a provincial body, they do not go to the OMB, they go to the Toronto Local Appeal Body, so they can determine what's minor and what's not. And as of April, the Ontario Municipal Board does not exist as we have known it. It's been replaced by the Local Planning Appeal Tribunal, where the grounds for appealing local decisions are very constrained compared to what we were used to. And for the most part, it's just, did the city follow provincial policy and its own official plan? If it did, the fact that the developer doesn't like approval for 6 stories because they want 8 is not a good enough reason to get a decision overturned. So we made those changes. We haven't yet lived with with how that new body is going to function. So I'm very hopeful that it's going to function the way we designed it to be, but time will tell. It'll take a few years to find out. But I think for a community like Long Branch, between having local things going to the local appeal body, which is entirely a City of Toronto body, I'm hopeful that that's going to be good for helping to protect the character of Long Branch. So.